So what happens when the police pull you over anyways? I mean, behind the scenes, they witness an offense, they pull you over, they give you a ticket, you drive away. That's the most basic level. But what's going on behind the scenes there? Why does it often take them so long to approach your vehicle? What are they doing with your information? What can they find out about you, about the car? Somebody left a comment and I want to address this. And at the most basic level, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this. I'm just going off the cuff here. Usually I have some speaking notes off to the side points. I want to make sure I don't forget anything, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through. And this is just a hypothetical situation, even though we know this is something that takes place all the time. You're driving on a busy street and you're going to get pulled over. Now, let's say you have a dark license plate cover and you know it's too dark and you're driving down a busy street. There's a cop car behind you. You don't know if you're going to get pulled over for this or not. Sure enough, they activate their rooftop lights, their emergency equipment. You pull to the right, and then they park behind you. Now, before the police approach you, they're able to run your plate, obviously. But what comes back on that plate? All the vehicle information and all the information about the registered owner of the vehicle. Maybe you're the registered owner. Maybe you're not. We'll say for this scenario that you're not the registered owner. But all the information will come back about the registered owner, if they're on any charges or conditions, if they're associated to anybody else who may be on charges or conditions, what they are, and maybe they're in the car with you, maybe they're not. But you're sitting here driving alone in a car. You're just getting pulled over. So the police approach the vehicle. Good evening. I pulled you over because of this. And yeah, sorry, officer. I knew that, or I didn't know that. Ask for your driver's license, the ownership and insurance of the vehicle. I'm not going to get into what you have to produce and what you don't have to. I've made lots of videos about that, but you have the ownership available, you got the insurance available, and your driver's license. I can't remember if I said that you're the registered owner or not, but let's just say you're not the registered owner. It's registered to your mom. So on the vehicle ownership, it shows your mother's name. The cop would already know that, of course, because they saw that information. So if a police officer says, "Is this your car? Are you the registered owner?" They probably already know the answer to that, because if you handed your driver's license and it doesn't match the registered owner that showed up on the computer, then, and you say you're the registered owner, then of course you're lying to them. There are situations, circumstances, because this is the way technology is, when maybe they didn't get a return fast enough, so that information didn't come to them quick enough. But I'm just going off generally what happens here, okay? So you give the information, they go back to the police vehicle. You're not the registered owner, so now they're going to run your name. And they can see, it's a very quick process. They run your name. They can see the status of your driver's license. Of course, if you're licensed, unlicensed, it's suspended. But they can also tell if you've been in trouble with the police, if you're on any conditions, if you're associated to anybody who's been on conditions. They can figure out all that information, okay, from the car. So let's say the cop's going to give you a ticket for this. I gave 99% of the time I gave warnings for this, and I know a lot of police officers that do, but you're going to get a ticket because this is my scenario and this is what's happening. You're going to get a ticket. The information's all plugged in the computer. It's very fast these days. Everything is in the computer. It's uploaded. When the officer's filling out the ticket, which is going to get printed in the vehicle, I'll get to that in a second. They say, is the registered owner of the vehicle the driver? No. You swipe the driver's license. All their information goes in. So basically, everything's done on the computer. It's you have to enter certain information, of course, the situation or the circumstances of the investigation, where it took place. Even though listen, it's pretty much done because you're going to tell the dispatcher where you are, but there might be other details that you want to add. So they're going to print out the ticket. Nowadays, again, it's very, very quick. Most police services, not all, rural and such, but most police services have a ticket machine inside the vehicle. So all the information's on the computer. They're going to print out a ticket. It prints out beside them. The printer inside the vehicle, you may have seen them. It comes out and rolls. All the information's on the ticket, the charge, the officer's information, the circumstances, of course, the details of the investigation, and also your options. But everything is printed inside the car. So the officer approaches your vehicle again and hands you that information and gives you the options. It could be very quick. It might not be. Now, there's certain situations I mentioned before which may prevent this whole process from happening so quick. Sometimes there's a bad connection in a police vehicle. Again, just like a cell phone, they use cell receptions, towers, everything else. There could be some problems. They could be all out of paper with the printer. And you know what? Sometimes if there's too many problems, you know what the cops will do? They'll actually say, they'll just walk back up to your car and give you information and say, listen, I'll just give you a warning, drive safe, make sure you take it down, whatever, and you're on your way. But there could be a variety of different issues internally with the police vehicle. They can still write tickets by hand, of course. Some do, some don't. But of course, things are very, very easy. And another thing I wanted to get to was this information is also sent. This is basically the officer's evidence in court. They can write some additional information down in their book, in a memo book, whatever. This is the information that's given to court. Now, something very important. When the officer, again, this isn't the same for all police services, but it's kind of the way it is now. When the officer activates their emergency equipment, the rooftop lights, it starts recording, or it goes back 30 seconds, but it's being recorded. The vehicle stop is being recorded. Officers have body cams, or they also have listening devices. So the police car will have a camera, the officer will have a listening device, or some officers have body cameras. The entire interaction is recorded. Everything's recorded. And there's a file number or an occurrence number or an incident number or an event number. It's different for all police services that are associated with this vehicle stop. And everyone is different. Now, if you decide to take this to court and go through a lawyer, your lawyer on that ticket that you're given will be the incident number, the occurrence number, the event number. That number is going to be there. And your lawyer, whether they choose to or not, might say, listen, let's figure out what the evidence is. Let's see how this vehicle stop went. They will put in the request. It's a process. I'm not going to get into it, where they would actually get a copy of the recording from the beginning of the traffic stop to the end of the traffic stop and hear everything. And these are really interesting because a lot of these, I watch a lot of the videos in the States about somebody who gets pulled over and they make all these false allegations about what happened. The cop said this, the cop did this, not realizing the whole thing's recorded. Then they release the information and they're just made to look like complete fools. Listen, I would actually prefer, I would like to see more of these recordings being made public. Again, besides the point. So that's something else that's very, very interesting to consider. Listen, folks, I hope I gave you the gist of it. I hope that clears something up. If you have any more questions, you'd like to know more, please leave me a comment. Again, I read every single comment. I don't always reply. I reply when it's appropriate to do so, but I read every comment, and sometimes those comments lead me to make other videos such as this one. Thank you very, very much for watching this. If you find my content informative, useful, maybe entertaining, please consider subscribing to my channel, like the video, and again, this helps me determine the direction that I'm taking. Have a good day. Be safe out there. Look after one another, and perhaps we will see you again.